What if the sun is more than just a nuclear furnace burning in the sky? What if it is actually aware with a consciousness of its own? For most of modern science, this idea sounds impossible, even mythical. Yet across ancient cultures, the sun was not treated as an inert object. It was a living presence, a radiant intelligence at the center of the world. Temples, rituals, and entire cosmologies were built around the intuition that the great star above us was not merely burning, but participating in the drama of existence. And now today, an unexpected philosophical movement is reopening this question in a new form. Consider for a moment the form and function of the living. Most of us see this as a separate distinction from the inanimate matter all around us, or so we think. Neurons fire in our minds in a linear movement from an unknown source into the material. We view this ability to harness and metabolize complex information as a gift to human brains, with its most intricate uses being attributed to humans only. We have this idea that humans, as far as we can tell, are the pinnacle of intelligence in the universe. Let's digress on extraterrestrial intelligence for now. But all of life seems to be teeming with this mystery of awareness. It has a participation in everything. Life seems to be interacting with other life, as well as the things that we consider inanimate. But to the evolutionary scientific community, these materialists believe that life arose as a result of happenstance, chemical processes that just sort of functioned over millions of years and just eventually created divergences and outcomes, and we get the proteins that form DNA and all of the, which is just, that to me requires a lot of faith. But to those who hold a more open-minded and nuanced view, consciousness and awareness are an extension of the numinous, a divine hand reaching into space-time to gift a living thing the ability to even be aware of itself. But how do we know the difference? How do we know that these things that we consider inanimate to be not conscious at all? Where do we draw the line? How simple does an organism have to be for us to consider it to be unconscious, to be, unable to contain that awareness? The concept we're kind of getting at here is called Panpsychism. Now, this view is that consciousness is not limited to brains, but is a fundamental property of reality itself. Instead of emerging suddenly from complex biology, consciousness in this framework is woven into the fabric of matter and energy. As strange as that sounds, consider the problem that it's trying to solve. Modern science can describe neural activity in extraordinary detail, yet it still struggles to explain why experience exists at all. Panpsychism suggests that mind-like qualities might exist in primitive form everywhere, gradually intensifying as systems become more organized, as life becomes more complex, as this increase in complexity piles on, whether evolutionary or other. It becomes more conscious, more connections, more complexity. Now, philosophers and scientists are asking these questions. What they see is new philosophical breakthroughs or new questions. But they're not new because these echo very ancient modes of thought. Ancient cosmologies, from solar deities to animistic traditions, often assume that nature itself was alive and aware. And in that sense, the revival of panpsychism can feel less like a new discovery and more like a strange intellectual return, a re-enchantment of the universe after centuries of strict materialism. And some of these thinkers have speculated about the sun specifically. Rupert Sheldrake has explored the possibility that large-scale systems, organisms, ecosystems, even stars, might possess forms of organization that resemble cognition in a very broad sense. His work, which often challenges conventional assumptions about biology and physics, suggests that if consciousness is tied to patterns and fields, if it's tied to self-organizing processes, then it might not be limited to neural tissue alone. And from a materialist standpoint, the sun is a very complex system. It's a self-regulating sphere of plasma with magnetic fields and feedback loops operating across enormous scales. Solar cycles, magnetic reversals, and coordinated plasma behavior give the sun something resembling dynamic coherence. And some researchers are suggesting that since consciousness requires complexity, why not attribute it to something as complex and mysterious as this giant object in the sky? They're pointing out that the amount of complexity actually exceeds the complexity inside the human brain. Now, this does not prove that the sun is actually conscious or has a mind of its own. It doesn't contain neurons or sensory organs or anything like that, that we attribute to, that exist in life on Earth. Yet this debate is revealing something deeper, that our idea of consciousness is incomplete. So a mythical question now emerges. Are we simply orbiting a giant burning plasma ball of energy that has no depth of thought and is just existing? Or is this ball of fire actually aware of us, of itself, of things beyond our solar system and other things in the universe? Every country, every civilization that has come and gone that we know enough about has had some form of solar deity. The Egyptians had Ra, the sun god. They also had Amun, I believe, A-M-U-N. He was known as a creator deity and also a god of the sun. You can go to Africa, and Nubian and Zulu mythologies talk about sun gods, solar deities, that are also creator gods. They're this ultimate mind of the universe that brings life. And now that we're having a wave of New Age paganism coming in, and they seem to kind of coincide with this green movement, it's the return of this Gaia Mother Spirit and the respect for all life. If one were looking for the source of life, light, and all of these things that we consider numinous and divine, one would easily arrive. You can see how one would easily arrive at the sun being this deity. It gives us light, energy. It feeds plants for photosynthesis. They turn the sun's energy into food. And then, of course, there's the entire food chain, the entire process, the source of these scientific processes of life proliferation. It really is kind of amazing to me to see the return of these things that just keep coming back around, and how modern people see, the ancient cultures and the ancient religions and ancient modes of thinking are ridiculous to them. It's this superstitious thing that they can just dismiss, which is an oversimplification. Perhaps they had the same access or exceeded our access of scientific knowledge and came to even more mythic conclusions, or ones that look supernatural or superstitious to us. What I want to draw your attention to is the circumnavigation, the coming back around. It's the snake eating its tail. We have been stuck in a period of a few centuries of pure materialism, and it's taken hold more and more and more. But I see the grip of that materialism loosening. And what will take its place is this movement of spiritualism. And I don't think that's a good thing, because what people will lock on to all kinds of superstitious thinking, and many will embrace these old myths and mythical figures. And though I believe in a God that transcends all of this confusion, and he was the one, in my opinion, who created these wonders in the universe, these sources of light, including our sun. It's almost like that first step of the materialist into the spiritual realm to sort of latch on to the most impressive and complex things around us first. But it's happened before. The Greek philosopher Plato used to speak about how everything, even inanimate objects, have a soul. These are sort of the roots of this panpsychism. Their belief being that things just exist in fields of energy. Morphogenetic fields fall into this too, which is also a thing that Rupert Sheldrake was talking about. This ties into ancestral memory, people reporting having memories from lives past, or memories of the ancestors coming back, or our instincts. The reason that we have the instincts that we do is because it's memories. It's been imprinted onto this morphogenetic field of energy, and then we sort of, after being born, we're sort of plugged into it. Which is an interesting theory. And if you haven't seen my video on ancestral memory in this morphogenetic field, I'll link that here. But it's interesting to consider the possibilities, because I think more likely than not, we may be heading toward a one world religion. And one of the candidates for this deity, we can call it an antichrist or whoever, but it's going to be a return. I think it may be a return to some of these pagan ways of thinking. And I think one of the candidates for that is a solar deity. It makes total sense. And there's like this, with panpsychism, there's like this scientific bridge being built toward an outcome like that. And of course, panpsychism relates to pantheism, which is the idea that all things are divine. Everything is an emanation from a divine mind. Therefore, everything is God. Everything is divine. And this also is confusing and dangerous, because it's not only it's a gateway to disregarding any kind of real divine hierarchy, which I think is necessary. It makes people pretty presumptuous about their own, it ties into this Gnostic idea of that I can become God, through gnosis and knowledge, or, that there's differences there, but there is this human thirst to transcend and somehow reach divinity in the material world, using material means, or through our material existence, we can become aware of a transcendent path to become a God, or the God, become divine, eternal. And I think this is dangerous because, like I said, it's very self-serving. How convenient would that be? It's just, come on. Our language is very curious lately. We have these solar flares and solar activity peaking and waxing and waning, and we have these movements of the magnetic fields, and people will use these words about how the sun is behaving, and it's a very anthropomorphic kind of projecting that consciousness onto the sun. It behaves, or the sun is angry, or and people will attribute massive solar storms or something to the wrath of God, and I'm not beyond that possibility, but I'm very uncomfortable with the kind of path that's being laid in front of us, paving the way toward deification of this object in the sky. But let me know what you think in the comments. I've got tons of stuff coming up. I took a bit of a break, but I am on it. I am writing scripts like crazy and making artwork, and I have got at least 24 videos in the queue being ready to be filmed and finished and put out there for you guys. And if there's anything that you want to see, drop it in the comments, something you'd like to see me discuss. But thanks for hanging out for a little bit, and I'll see you all in the next one.